just very quickly, I want to talk about the damning photo that's come out about Latrell Mitchell. I'm sort of disappointed that this has happened while Latrell Mitchell's injured, but I have a few thoughts. Like for me,
Yeah, I'm listening. Sorry.
how pervasive is this problem in our game? Firstly, the alleged, the alleged problems that or the alleged photo that came out about Latrell Mitt, about him doing some naughty things. How big of a problem is it? And I saw that Mitchell Pearce and Todd Carney were saying that the people that released the photo of Latrell Mitchell should be named and shamed, and that these people are dangerous and they get away with murder, they get away with killing people's careers, things like that. I'm just sort of I'm sort of not sure how I feel about it.
Look, sorry, I've been a bit naive today because it was one of those days at work. All of Australia was relying on me, literally, probably. But what's the latest on Latrell? So
he was found with a photo where he was leaning over a table and there was a white
I know that part, but guys, put your comments as well.
But Anthony Mundine's offered his support. Mitchell Pearce has offered his support. Pearce and Todd Carney have come out and said these people
aren't Anthony Mundine and Latrell at war at the moment.
They've never been at war. The media wants to paint it that way, but I think Mundine just had some stern advice for Latrell, and everyone said, Mundine and Latrell are at war. They're not at war. Mundine has a very high opinion of Latrell. He's gone on record to say that on multiple podcasts, that he thinks very highly of Latrell Mitt. I just think... Can
I point out something? Something happened with the Roosters a few months ago, their players. That quickly got thrown under the carpet.
Yeah.
What happens here?
But they were tested and they were clean.
So what happens with Latrell? If he gets tested and he's clean, does the same thing happen?
Yeah.
Is that a recent photo? Is it an old photo? Is it... I'm not exonerating him here, but I'm just trying to use the same precedent that the Roosters players were afforded. We know some clubs are special compared to others and their players. So I just want to see some consistency here. So if some players are afforded special treatment, I think everyone else should be afforded the same special treatment in their National Roosters League. So, yeah.
Look, but for me, it goes before that. Like, before someone taking the photo, sending it, I know it was in private, and I know you probably shouldn't have shared the photo, but my problem is, why are rugby league players doing this? How dumb do you have to be as a human being?
So, You know what it is? It's the boys, a lot of testosterone together. You're earning $600,000, for example, a year. Your job is to get up 5 days a week, train through the morning to the early afternoon. You go out there, you're the King Kong, you're the Mac Daddy, you're playing in front of 20,000, 30,000 fans. The girls want you. You can have a different girl every day. That's the sort of culture.
That's
how it
absolutely
is.
Rubbish, though. I mean, it
is rubbish. I'm just telling you how it is.
I'm with you, but Latrell, bro, I love Latrell. Like on this podcast,
the drug and party atmosphere sucks because it's only limited to the men. Have you seen the women?
No, I
women
haven't.
are on there. The women that are playing NRLW, it's starting to creep in there already. It's already there. It's also in the AFLW. B Massive has pointed out that the photo's 6 weeks old, so I dare say if they were probably to drug test him, he probably would come back negative. I mean, anyways, Brian's having a kick at me. I'm not disagreeing, Brian. I'm just saying, just the whole culture in the NRL. Like, it's pretty much, a lot of it is euphoria. Like,
But see,
they think rules don't, come to you. Maybe some can't handle the pressure. So party drugs such as cocaine is their way of their release to feeling, high, getting away from the lows.
Zatar is saying, he's saying what happens in private should stay in private. Look, I'm sort of...
Well, you know what? He's still got to blame himself for putting himself in that position, especially around other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, people are going to... That person's leaked the photo because he can make himself a quick $1,200 or whatever some journalist offered him.
Yeah, 100%.
Of course.
But it doesn't excuse the fact that he's done it. And if he's doing this type of thing, if he's, it casts a lot of doubt around the character of the player. Like, look... I want to excuse him. I want to say he's young, he's dumb, this and that, blah, 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 blah.
He's dumb.
He's dumb, but
He's not young anymore.
And
how old is he? 26, 27?
There's no excuses anymore for this shit.
He's been in first grade for 10 years, so there's no more excuses.
We need to get this shit out of the game. Like, if we have young kids that look up to these guys, and these guys are, doing blow on the weekend, like, it doesn't make sense, bro. You're making so much money. People love you. People want to be around you. People just want to be in your orbit. And here you are doing something stupid like...
Agreed, Brian. These people should be the role models. So, you know what? The NRL needs to... They need to go to extra length. They need to start handing out harsh penalties.
I agree.
Have no room. Even if it means ending careers. You got to stamp this out of the game. They're going to take it away from the image of the NRL. It's been around for far too long.
100%. Mitchell Campion has just said, I work on the rail, 0 tolerance for drugs. I don't get paid $1 million a year. Not hard to stay in line if you've got a job on the line. Bro, thank you. Thank
well
you.
said.
Hatem. Very well said.
What was that?
Khalili Hatem. I don't know how to say. In Lebanese, it means I want to keep your mouth, but it means like words well spoken. It's just really well said because straight out, I agree with you. At work, there is a 0 tolerance for drugs. I work in the IT industry. If we ever found the drugs, we've got in our contracts that at any time we can have random drug testing. So it's like, there has to be accountability, and I'm not saying it just because it's Latrell. Like when Munster and Smith were given a slap on the wrist, Valentine Holmes given a slap on the wrist. Like, we need to take a harsher stance as a game on this. Honestly, it's not just because of Latrell. I don't want Latrell to be the fall guy, and I hope Latrell isn't the fall guy. But I hope this is an incentive for the NRL to start thinking a bit more clearly about how they should be dealing with drugs in the game.
I like what Brian said. This is why NRL is a professional sport, not an elite sport. Well said, Brian, because they still haven't managed to keep it clean. There's still that sort of behaviour going around. Look, there's instances where the NRL does come down harsh, like what Finch has pointed out in regards to Valentine Holmes previously. So, but it's just far few in between, I feel. Yeah, but do they need to educate the players more? The education should be there.
How much more education do you need?
They should be there already, yeah.
Zatar said something very interesting. He said, I think there's more to it than simple snorting coke. He's had a shit season. Media takes him for a ride.
Yep, there's something I pointed out earlier.
There's probably more mental health issues here.
That's what I pointed out earlier. It's the escape from the lows. If anyone was listening, it's...
Yeah,
there's more to it, A lot of players go out there thinking they're King Kong and they're above law, and somebody comes and offers them something. Yeah, I'm the man, so... It's got to change their mindset.
Rob Ramsey, he says the photo is not clear. It could be anything on the table. Look, I get that, right? I get that. We're trying to be careful.
That was the chalk from the teachers' board.
I get that. I get that. We're trying to, be legally safe in that. But I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going on. And look, I love Trelmy. Trelmy is an OG. He's a great player. I really feel sorry for him. Like, don't want to excuse the behaviour. I don't want to say I feel sorry for him, but I had a lot of respect for him. And that's why I don't respect Munster or Smith or Holmes. Any player I see get caught doing any of this stuff, all right, they're good players, but I have very little respect for them.
I don't think much of them as a person, no.
I don't want them at my club.
Of course not.
That's the truth.
Good thinking. No dickheads policy.
Bro, I don't ever want to see myself see my kid looking up to someone that I know has taken coke. It's just not something I feel comfortable with. Tariq Ahmed saying, I think it's a sports culture thing. It's across the board in Australia and internationally. Yeah, look, Tariq, I agree with you. It is a sports problem. 100%. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't want someone like Latrell to be the fall guy for all the idiots that have done something like this. But I can't help feel like I've lost a little bit of respect for him. That's the real hard truth. And you guys remember, if you guys have been following the podcast, when there was been racial slurs against him, when there's been people talking about Latrell, saying he's this, is that. I've always stood by Latrell. I've always supported Latrell. And look, everybody deserves a second chance. I'm not writing him off. I'm just saying that there needs to be some sort of punishment. Because Jamie Teasdale was asking, what's your take on Sherry? Bro, Sherry wasn't even allowed to sniff a field of grass. He couldn't play touch footy, couldn't play Ostag, couldn't go overseas and trial for the NFL. Otherwise, his punishment was going to restart. So he's paid his penance. He's done his time. I will not talk about what Sherry did 4 years ago. I refuse to bring up the history. The guy has done his time. Do you agree?
Of course.
With Bronson Xerri? I don't think I ever want to mention Bronson Xerri
He's moved on from that.
in that language ever. The guy has done it, right? He's done the hard yards and he's come back and he's earned his spot. It's not like, we've given him a free ride because his dad's a coach or some shit. No, Xerri's earned it, and I don't want to talk about Xerri in light of any doping whatsoever. I don't think his name should continuously be tarnished in that way. If he gets done again, do whatever you want, say whatever you want. But Xerri is as far as I'm concerned, as clean and as clear as any other clean and clear player in the game. Full stop.
I have a question, if that's okay. The audience probably can't hear me.
I'll repeat it. Sorry, our producer Billy's going to ask a question and then I'll repeat it.
Don't you think the media has a bit of responsibility here? The people who leaked the photo should have just gone to the NRL, told them this is what's happened, go for, put the...
Agreed, Moot.
The punishment.
Sorry, I'm
But
just
now
reading the
they've got to go
comments.
through the entire rigmarole of being front page media and the mental health issues that come with that. So if he's already in a pretty bad place because he's doing this sort of stuff, he's just going to be sort of dragged into even worse.
Yeah, so Billy, the producer, is asking, what's the responsibility of media here, as opposed to just putting it out there on the front lines and letting everybody sort of go hell for broke, attacking Latrell Mitchell? Shouldn't they be going directly to the NRL in order to protect the player's mental health, in order to protect whatever the player is going through, and then help him deal with the problems? I think the media doesn't give a shit. NRL journos are some of the most parasitic, disgusting journos in all of sport. They are the worst journalists. AFL journalists aren't even as bad as NRL journalists, and that's saying something. Tariq Ahmed said, I do believe mental health needs to be addressed more appropriately in the NRL, and young players need to be prepared for their future. I reckon that they have been, and I reckon that the NRL has improved a lot, but you just can't stop stupid. That's the way it is.